What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we're going to be doing a first for The Educated Barfly. We've never done anything like this before. Marius has no idea what we're doing today. I thought that it would be kind of fun if we go back in time to one of my old cocktails that I first created when I was a very young bartender and haven't had in many years, and assess it and see if it's any good. So today we're going to be making the Bloom County. I will talk a little bit about its inspiration later, but let's make the drink first. So first thing we're going to do, the recipe calls for 8 dashes of Peychaud.
Very bold.
But I was working at Kohl's at the time. We always had the Japanese bitters dashers, so I'm saying 4 of this. But even 4 of these, that's quite a bit of bitters. But I'm not going to be improving this drink. I'm just going to make it the way that I created it. And then we're going to assess the original, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we want to do, right? All right, so we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That's kind of a lot of bitters, but we'll see. Then we're going to do half an ounce of sweet vermouth. I'm using Dolan because that's what I was using then. Doing half an ounce of Licor 43, which seems this is going to be a sweet cocktail. And a little off balance maybe. And then we're doing 2 ounces of the Old Grandad 100 proof bonded bourbon. And if you guys decide to make this cocktail at home, use 100 proof bourbon because if you don't, this will definitely be too sweet. I would crack a piece of ice, but not I don't really, well, I could crack this piece of ice, I guess. Here, you want to see me do it? Marius always says I do it behind the bottle and you can never see me, so. Let's just, there. I hope that was as exciting as you thought it was going to be.
I'm just looking out for our viewers.
It's true. I guess they want to see. I guess I just never really thought about it. Oh, this would be something that people would want to see. It makes sense, though. It makes sense. Why are you looking at me from behind the camera with a judgy face on your face as if you know that this drink is going to suck?
No,
Where am I projecting?
You're just projecting.
Oh, I'm a little scared. This doesn't I just want to know what I was thinking. And also it has a very random name with a very random, it has a very random cocktail name and it's a very random reference as well that has absolutely nothing to do with these ingredients. All right, then we're just gonna strain it into our glass. And we're gonna give it the old orange peel. That's how I would have served it at Kohl's. All right, let's take a sip. Ooh, not bad, pretty interesting, weird. It's weird. It's you get the botanicals of the sweet vermouth and you get the sweet vanilla-ness of the Licor 43, and then you get the sort of a little bit of heat of the bourbon. Mm-hmm. You know, it's nice. It was the bourbon would have made this too sweet, but the 100 proof kind of adds that heat to it, and so it sort of balances out in kind of a spicy, sweet way. You get that nice orange, and obviously the bitters. The bitters is really playing down the sweetness a bit. The vermouth, almost the vermouth with the Licor 43 almost gives it a chocolate kind of vibe to it that I'm sort of digging. I mean, this drink is on the sweeter side. It's not super balanced, but it's not terrible. I thought it was going to be terrible. I really did, but it's not terrible. It's actually a pretty good try for a young bartender.
I don't think everything needs to be balanced. If you want a sweet cocktail, it's got to be sweet.
Yeah, but this is where I would argue with you because it's like this. There are things that go from sweet to let's say sour, right? Or bitter or whatever. The thing is that when you're making a sweet cocktail, you want to balance that sweetness out so that it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. You don't want something to be cloyingly sweet, right? It's okay to make a sweet cocktail, but you want to balance it in the realm of sweet cocktails, just like you want to balance something in the realm of tart cocktails. You don't want it to be overly tart. right? You want it to be balanced, even though you're making something that's going to be on the tartar side. That being said, taste is fully subjective. So what is cloyingly sweet to me might be not sweet enough to someone else.
Exactly.
So, that's why when you're making these drinks, it's all about using your own judgment and your own palate and then sort of trying to go from there. You know what I mean? So there's no real definitive, my cocktails are the one and only. This is just, this channel is just me showing my take on these drinks. And I share my opinion, but you're right. You're right. I mean, everyone has a different flavor profile, and so you just need to kind of work with your own and make drinks that you think are balanced. But I just like to balance it, even if I know it's going to be on the sweeter side. Like, I feel like on that scale, if you go into the sweet scale, there is a balance in there you want to find. So this cocktail is called the Bloom County, which is a reference to a 1980s comic book strip that I used to read as a kid, created by a guy named Berkeley Breathed. And the most famous character was Opus, which is what Marius, when I told him about it, he was like, "Oh, in Norway, we just called that Opus."
Yeah, now that because I have to look it up. And then he did a strip called Opus, and he did one called...
he did another one too.
Like something.
I can't remember what it's called, but he did do it. No,
yeah, so those
Doonesbury?
Oh, no.
Look it up. I think he did a political one that's like fully political. So
Outland was the other one.
Oh, Outland, that was the other
one. Which
one.
also had Opus in it, but I think...
Right.
We just called it Opus and Outland. But maybe the Bloom County never came to Norway or Europe, because if it's very regional or very Americana, maybe it makes
like
no
when
sense.
I was a kid, it was really big. Like it was Calvin and Hobbes big.
But
like,
it could be
really, really
if
big.
it's very political and very maybe
it is.
Makes sense.
I mean, maybe it's like because it's like kind of regional to America because of the references. Because there is a lot of political references. I mean, basically, the storyline of the comic strip surrounded kids with sort of grown-up vocabularies, and then also animals that could talk. But it was also very grown up and very political. I loved it as a kid, though. I have no idea why I named this cocktail after that comic book strip. I think that I am admittedly sort of a bad cocktail namer, and I might have just been grabbing at straws. I thought it was a cool reference at the time, maybe. I have no idea why I called this Bloom County. It really has nothing to do. I want to say that there's like some sort of reference to something obscure inside the comic book strip, but there really isn't. It's just a completely random name for a cocktail. But now that I look back on it, it's not so great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's not a very good sales pitch for this. Everyone always asks me why I don't make drinks that I don't like. And I've always said, well, why would I make a drink that I don't like? What's the purpose of that video? So today we're making that video.
And you like most drinks, right?
I mean, call me an alcoholic, but there are very, very, very few drinks that I don't like. And there are some drinks that when they were introduced to me, that I hated, that I now like a lot. Like a Negroni is a very good example of that. So my friend Plex got me hired at Kohl's, and he used to work at Kohl's, but then also at another place called the Little Cave, which is in Highland Park. And so I went to the Little Cave with Anika to visit him one night, and this was like before I was drinking any cocktails or whatever. He asked me what I wanted. I just said, bartender's choice, whatever you want to make me, and he made me a Negroni, and I drank it, and he was like, so what do you think? And I was like, because I just wasn't used to that Campari. But once I attained the flavor of that Campari, once I acquired that taste for it, now I love Negronis. They're one of my favorite drinks. But I can't even think of one that I just don't like, except for this one.
Okay, well, so go make it.
Maybe we could do like a giveaway. Maybe we can get people to improve this, and whoever wins something. Try and improve this drink. You guys have the specs. I want to see some improvements on this. You can go crazy. Improve it any way you want. Add egg whites, add whatever. It doesn't have to even be a stirred cocktail. It can be a shaken cocktail. The only thing that I would say is that the idea of this cocktail has to be intact. The way to figure out what the idea behind this cocktail is to make it, taste it, try and figure out like what the hell I was thinking, and then try and improve it. Best person will get a really good prize of some kind of treat. Me and Marius will cook up a treat for you guys. All right, guys, if you like this channel, please hit like and subscribe and check us out on Patreon, patreon.com, and YouTube memberships. We got some cool stuff going on there. Check out our website, theeducatedbarfly.com, for merch, virtual bottle program, cool stuff. Marius has been doing a good job at it. If you want to look as strapping as me, go to staggerlygoods.com, and Barfly SLG20 gets you 20% off at checkout from anything from Staggerly Goods, I'm pretty sure. Not just aprons, but some other stuff too, I believe. So, we'll see you on another time.